Hello, Starbear Cups! Starbear Woman here for your next money and career reading. I have smudged the area and the cards and set the intentions for whatever it is that you need to know at this time if you felt guided to this reading, to this video, and if this resonates at this time. If this isn't your story, it may resonate in a month or two from now, or perhaps the next video will be more in line with your story. If this video was helpful in any way, please like, share, and subscribe. That would be greatly appreciated. So let's get started with your money and career reading, starting with the overall energies. First card out is Trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Of course, this can be referring to your intuition, but it could also be your higher guidance, your higher self. All right. From the Moonology deck, we get look at the bigger picture. Full moon in Sagittarius. And this goes really well with trust, because when we are so caught up in the minutia of our daily lives, the little details, it's hard to see where some of our efforts are going. When I saw this image of the bow and arrow, I saw in my mind firing an arrow into the distance, and it just goes so far that it just disappears in the trees or over the horizon. And you have no idea where it landed. You have no idea if it hit the target or not. Maybe you don't even know what the target is. You just fired your arrow in truth, in trust. And interestingly, this mandala looks a little bit like a target. So you fired your arrow and you're just trusting that it lands on the target. But at this point in your story, if this resonates with you, it has... You don't yet know if your arrow has hit the target. You're still waiting. I can resonate with that myself. All right. Is that better? Yeah. And then we also got a new start is coming. We got a whole brand new moon here. That's wonderful. Following the full moon. So there's something that has ended or is ending, and a new start is coming. So maybe you left your job and you are starting a new business. Maybe you've put some feelers out there, some advertisements, you've done some networking. Maybe you've reached out and you're in the state of just waiting right now. You're in that state of waiting to hear back. Maybe you've put out some resumes. You're waiting to get some responses to your emails. I get the sense that you're in a waiting period, a holding pattern. And in this time of waiting, to remember there's a bigger picture, to trust that your arrow is going to hit the mark, and to trust that a new start is coming. The first card out with Wisdom of the Oracle is Community, number 8. The essential meanings are belonging, being seen and understood by others, like-minded connections. Ooh, that could be networking. A sense of family and friendship, knowing your place in the world. But it was in reverse. So the protection message is, beware of compromising your integrity in order to belong. How do you dim your light or change yourself so others will accept you in the group? Do you hide who you really are in order to play a role within the larger whole? This will never fulfill you. Now is the time to assess your willingness to be real. Stand tall, be you. Authenticity is true self-expression and the only way to empower yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself and step into the role your heart tells you to take. Making yourself small bears too high a cost. Okay. And 8 is the energy of transformation into a new state. And the next card out is Unfinished Symphony, which is 10, which ironically is completion, but this card is about something that is unfinished. The essential meanings are unfinished business, an incomplete lesson, lack of closure, and the need to make amends. Perhaps this is something that needs to be done in your period of waiting. It was in reverse, so the protection message is, when unfinished business casts a shadow over your life, it is a reminder that procrastination is a form of self-sabotage. It is not in your best interest to stall. Even stumbling forward is better than holding back. Don't overthink things or let yourself get distracted. Just tie up any loose ends and deliver the results. Don't quit before the finish line. Spirit wants you to win. Definitely. So we're getting a little bit more of the story here. I think because there's a lot of waiting for something to bear fruit or to manifest, and you fired your arrow and you're not sure where it landed, there seems to be some holding back. Maybe you're doubting your abilities and you're doubting the work that you've put out there because it's taking so long. And you have some loose ends also to tie up. Maybe if you are leaving an old job or an old way of doing things in order to bring in the new. Also, the imagery of unfinished symphony, for me, to write a symphony as a composer, it's a lot of painful hard work. It's a lot of time to take the initial inspiration that comes to mind, but then how to make that a reality, how to manifest that inspiration, that idea that you hear in its full completion, in its entirety, the potential of what it could be. You hear it all in your head, and then to try to put that on paper, it's so frustrating when your tools are limited or your medium is limited and you just want it to materialize immediately. But you sort of plod away, taking one step at a time, but then you have to make edits and cut some things out, and that's really hard and painful to put work into, let's say, a whole movement of a symphony or a chapter of a novel, and then realize it's just not fitting with the rest and having to scrap it. There's a lot of pain that's involved and a lot of challenge, heartache, difficulty in making those kinds of decisions. And it's very easy to set aside those kinds of projects, those passion projects, when they're just not coming together. It's very easy to doubt yourself and your abilities, and also to take into account other people's opinions, especially if they seem to be overly critical or downplaying your abilities or putting you down. Because this is, as I recall, the protection message of this was, don't make yourself small to fit in with others. And so that could imply that you're around people who make you feel that you need to be a certain way in order to fit in or to get something done or to be successful. But you have some kind of unfinished symphony on the go right now. You have some kind of passion project that you long ago fired your arrow in to the cosmos with your rocket of desire, says Abraham Hicks, and you have not yet seen the results of it. Spirit is saying a new start is coming. Now, whether this means to continue in the ilk of what it is you were doing, but try a different way, or whether it means that the project you're working on will bring a new start. But there is a passion project. If this resonates for you, you have a passion project of some kind. Whether it's a new business, a novel, a symphony, some kind of composition, a proposal, studies you're working towards, a degree you're working towards, something that you've been working towards and it's taken a lot of effort and you haven't yet seen the results, or it's not yet complete. And Spirit wants to encourage you to keep going, to see the bigger picture of it, what it is you're working towards. Because again, when you're working towards something, and there's a lot of little steps along the way, It's easy to lose the passion for that project in the mundane steps of A leads to B, B leads to C, and how the heck am I going to get to Z? Z seems so far away when you got to do all these other little steps before that. And it's easy to just, for your fire to just fizzle out. But Spirit wants you to know it's worth it. It's worth it. Look at the bigger picture. Remember what your target is. Trust that your arrow will get there. I feel like there's a little bit more to uncover here. So now I'm going to do a 4-card spread with the first card being what is hindering you. The second card is what motivates you. The third card will be what distracts you from obtaining your dream or your goal. And the top card will be what will drive you to your goal. Bottom of the deck we have 4 of water, which is 4 of cups. It's the idea of disappointment. In the traditional tarot, it's a person looking at 3 spilt cups and they fail to notice the 4th one being offered from the universe. In this one, there's the 3 smaller bubbles, but then she's offering a larger one. The good tarot deck offers a more positive spin on the tarot. So this is more the idea of you're being given something bigger than what you have now. You could see these smaller bubbles as representing the failed attempts or those little steps along the way that you had to take that just feel mundane and boring and make you question if it's even worth all this time and effort, but that there is something bigger and better waiting for you, being offered to you. You just haven't taken it yet. So that is the underlying energy to this money and career reading. So we have what is stopping you? 2 of air, that is indecision. It's the idea of having 2 options and not knowing which one to pick, not knowing which is the right way, but also it's having 2 warring ideas in your mind, being stuck between should I do this or should I do that? In traditional tarot, the woman has a blindfold and she's holding 2 swords upright. So there is an element of blind faith or blind trust, trusting to make the right decision. So what might be stopping you from maybe making the next step towards your goal is not seeing the bigger picture, but rather focusing on the two smaller choices. Getting so caught up in those little decisions, the day-to-day tasks, and not seeing the bigger picture of where you're headed. I know I've been there, so I'm sure there are many of you who understand what I mean. Don't allow indecision over the mundane decisions that lead you towards your passion project, your big final goal. Don't let those little decisions wear you down, tire you out, cause burnout. I know that a lot of people talk about being in the moment, being in the now, and there is definitely value to that. There's value when you can't see the goal, when you can't see the end target. There's value to taking one step at a time, one in front of the other, in front of the other. But there's also a danger to being so focused on your feet, one in front of the other. So focus on the stones that you're tripping over, or the way the path is meandering in a direction you didn't expect. It's so easy to forget that there is a goal, a destination, a place where you're headed to. Have you ever gone hiking, climbed a mountain, and you just get so tired from the steep climb that you just stare at the ground and all you can think about is not fainting from exhaustion or getting enough breath as you get higher and higher? But then there's that feeling you get when you look up from the ground and you see the peak, you see the top of the mountain. Suddenly, your motivation comes back, your excitement comes back, your drive, your adrenaline. You are energized again to get to where you're going. A newfound excitement because you see the end, you see the goal. But at this point, I think you're just busy focusing on not tripping over the roots across the path and finding the best rocks to grab onto to help you in your climb. The mundane decisions and not knowing which one's the right one is hindering your process at this time. What motivates you? Now this is in traditional tarot, the Devil card. I like this deck's rendition of the Devil because it's temptation and it can mean attachment, unhealthy or toxic attachment to things, but in this context, this being your motivation, this looks like someone who's pretty comfortable and is well off, and there's a heart which could signify doing what you love. And interestingly, 5 and 1 reduces to 6, and 6 is the number of the Lovers card, which is also choice. It's the energy of healing, nurturing, compassion, and regrouping. And 6 comes after 5, which is necessary chaos and conflict and tension. So while this is technically the Devil card, like I said, which can signify toxic attachment to something, I think we can take this card at face value to mean that your motivation is to make money, doing what you love, and to get to a state of relative comfort, ease, relaxation, satisfaction. I mean, she looks pretty comfortable. I don't see this as a negative thing at all. But you're wanting to be in a better place than where you are now. You want what you do to be something that you love. You want to earn money doing what you love. And there's nothing wrong with that. So that is what motivates you. Doing what you love and getting recognized for it and being able to be comfortable. So what distracts you is Ace of Earth, which is also Ace of Pentacles. It's the gift from the universe of a new opportunity, new career, new way of making money. So it can seem like a positive card, and it is an encouraging card that the time is ripe to plant seeds, to see the results of your hard effort. However, since this is in the distraction position, this can mean there's an imbalance. Perhaps you are very focused on the fact that you don't have a lot of money right now. And maybe because of that focus, you are busy working other kinds of jobs in order to make money. And while that, of course, is important, no one's going to tell you not to work in order to feed your family or to support yourself. But there is some element of this that is a distraction, perhaps overworking, perhaps, or even just the worry of not having enough money is in itself a distraction. But there is an imbalance here. Perhaps you feel like you're juggling too many things at once, and that is kind of getting in the way of pursuing your dream. And as you can see, this buck or stag has uneven antlers. One is longer than the other, which could imply, butting heads with someone or something, hitting your head over and over on something, and it created an imbalance. And because there is an imbalance that might be related to worry about money or whether your passion project will make enough money, then that's where the trust element comes in and looking at the bigger picture. And all successful people that I know of, the stories I've heard, people who are extremely successful in their field, they all have stories of the mundane that they had to go through to get to where they are. Unless, of course, they won the lottery. But everyone had to plod through the murky waters of the small day-to-day, the menial tasks, seemingly menial tasks that needed to be done to slowly build towards the ultimate final goal. But don't get caught up in the numbers. Don't be distracted by how much will this actually make? How much money will it actually make to do what I love? And for some of you, as another possible storyline, it could simply be the offer of something entirely different that is distracting you from your passion project. A different hobby, or a new relationship, or new friendship, or new job, a new money-making opportunity. And again, that's not inherently good or bad, but this is simply just what is distracting you right now. And sometimes those distractions are just a part of life. They're just a part of everyday life, and we just have to put up with them. We have to do the things that need to be done. If you have children, you have to take a break from whatever it is you're doing to tend to their wound, or give them a hug, or there's household chores to do, paperwork to do, or emails to send. I mean, have you called your mother this week? Maybe you have to do that. There's so many things in life, and they can build and build. And then there's news stories, social media. That can bring you down. That can be a distraction, for sure. There are just so many things in the material world that are flashy and get your attention. Pick me, look at me now, pay attention to me. And literally they are distractions, but they're not all unnecessary. They're not all things you can avoid or ignore. But if you feel the same way I do sometimes when I'm trying to work towards something I'm excited about or passionate about, it does become frustrating when life gets in the way and you just wish you had more time. What will drive you to your goal? This is so interesting. Six of Air. When I first pulled this card out, I saw it as Six of Fire, which is Six of Wands, which is the victory card, getting attention and being victorious and succeeding in what you're doing. However, plot twist, it's the Six of Air, which is Six of Swords. It's leaving a negative situation for a better situation, leaving choppy waters for calmer waters. In traditional tarot, it's a man rowing a woman and her child in a boat, and the water that they are leaving behind is wavy and rough, and the water ahead of them is calm. And in this one we have a sky ship flying away. Interestingly, this is also a 6, which we have here. And again, 6s are the energy of healing and repairing, regrouping after chaos. And in this deck, actually, Six of Air is about a change in your thinking, gaining wisdom from your past experiences and your past struggles. It's also a rite of passage. It can also mean relocating and traveling, moving, or even shifting your own emotional and mental perceptions of your situation. It's a necessary transition. So what will drive you to your goal is actually just to continue driving, to continue moving towards your goal. And if it requires a change in thinking, a shift in perception, it requires trust and seeing the bigger picture. And actually, I love how we have this card with a flying ship, because what happens when you are flying in the air? You see things from the bigger picture. Now, maybe you do need to move. Maybe a physical move is required to move towards your passion project, to move towards your goal. Maybe it's the awareness that things will be better than the way they were. Remember, we talked about being offered something better than what you had before, and all the little steps that it takes. So don't let the little steps wear you down. See the bigger picture, rise above and in your ship of dreams, and remind yourself where you are going. This will give you the bigger perspective. And because these cards were in reverse, remember, there's something about your previous or current situation that made you feel small, that made you feel you had to change your dream to adjust to your reality, but actually you are being encouraged and reminded that you can change your reality to adjust to your dream. Whoa, that just kind of came out of my mouth. I'm going to say that again. Life thus far has taught you that you have to change your dream to adjust to your reality. But Spirit is saying to you, you can change your reality to adjust to your dream. Whoa. Now I wish I could tell you more specifically how to do that. And I would love to know that answer myself. But if nothing else, then this is an encouragement to just keep going. I know that message is so often repeated, but it's so true. We sometimes don't see the results of our actions until years later. I have to remind myself that anytime you see the result of someone's hard work, whether it is that great best-selling novel, or that popular symphony, or that new app that was just created, or business, what we don't see is all the work that went into that result, all those little steps, the courses that the person took, the mistakes that they made over and over, the hardships, the rejection. Sometimes what we don't see is how long it actually took. Sometimes it takes people years from start to finish. And yeah, life will take you down meandering paths. Life will take you across streams, through deserts, and it may not seem like you're going anywhere at all. But when you see the bigger picture, you are still heading in that direction. I'm telling you, don't let the mundane wear you down. So in closing, I drew some crystal spirit cards. We got Aquamarine. The essential meanings are enhanced clarity, calm discernment, awareness, and acceptance of one's truth. More than ever, it's easy to get lost in a flood of information. While remaining focused and on task may be difficult when your senses are overstimulated, Aquamarine Spirit has appeared to tell you that you really do have what it takes to sort it all out and become clear as you make decisions. Remember, we talked about the Two of Swords, the Two of Air, which was having difficulty making decisions. Your powers of discernment are now magnified, and you are poised to make healthy choices for yourself and the good of all. Crystals can be found when looking carefully at a big rock formation or layer of earth. If you call on the help of the conscious universe and work with the energy of Aquamarine, you can see what sparkles and calls for your attention. And you can quickly understand it too. I was talking about the Ace of Earth representing things that, get your attention and call for your attention, whether rightly or wrongly. Take a deep breath and be patient as you practice discernment and observe details you might have overlooked before, first one at a time and then in unison. Know that your ability to recognize the importance of small details is supported by the conscious universe. You are on the brink of attaining some powerful insights, and Aquamarine Spirit has come to show you the way. Wow. The prosperity message is your ability to note the details benefits you right now, and Aquamarine Spirit will help you make calm, clear decisions. With the confidence of having the conscious universe allied with you to co-create wealth and abundance, you can take your time. Being methodical is called for now. Those details you already checked, it's a good time to go over them again. You are poised to gain insights that will benefit you as you work to heal old patterns generated by your ego's fear, patterns that no longer serve you. Break free by exercising discernment right now, for the conscious universe has much wisdom to share with you. You can be confident that everything you need will be right there for you. This is very interesting because it sounds like you're being encouraged to look at the details, which of course is a danger if you're getting frustrated by the details and want to just skip over the details, which is what we were talking about. Getting caught up in the mundane and feeling like all these little boring details aren't getting you anywhere and making you lose sight of your goal. You're being encouraged that the details are important. Don't skip over them. Don't try to cut corners. They are important and they are a part of the process. And we also got obsidian. Observing the self, self-reflection, know thyself. The prosperity message is, do you know your patterns? Do you know where your money and efforts go? Or is it all a big mystery at the end of the month? Or you could also say, do you know where your arrows go when you fire them? Over hill and dale? Obsidian Spirit's gentle message for you is to stop being afraid of looking at your relationship with money, for you have a serious tendency to underestimate your ability to manage the flow of abundance in your life. Wow, so one of your distractions was the Ace of Earth, Ace of Pentacles, which was money, being concerned about money, having enough money, whether you have the ability to make enough money. To experience the prosperity you deserve, answer the call to heal your old fear-based habits. Fearful frugality and, gee, I hope they love me now, generosity will not serve you on your healing journey. Oh, I wonder if that is a story for some of you. The community reversed was the idea that you were trying really hard to be accepted. Maybe some of you were giving your money away, giving too much of yourselves in order to please others and not leaving enough for yourself. Any discomfort you have in looking at your relationship to finances is simply part of a necessary transition to accepting yourself as you are today, right now, in this moment. And you must accept yourself as you are for healing to take place. Self-awareness is always a good thing, and it will lead you to feeling comfortable and confident in growing your abundance. As my readings always go, it always somehow leads back to personal development and self-love. Doesn't matter what kind of reading I'm doing. But yes, that is an important aspect of it, is the healing, reconciling ideas, reconciling your limited ideas and limiting beliefs. Those need to go. Those could also be what's preventing you from seeing the bigger picture. So you need to trust in yourself, in your abilities, and in the universe for helping you get to where you are going. I'm just going to draw a couple animal cards. We got Pelican. Let go of your judgments. And the idea is forgiveness. Forgive yourself for not getting to where you want to be yet. Things take time, especially when things are important. And forgive others for bringing you down. And also let go of your judgment of the situation. Don't judge your progress based on the fact that you haven't gotten to your goal yet. That definitely is not going to help you get there. We got Hummingbird. I love this card. It's about joy, feeling joy in the everyday moments, and to lighten up. But what I see when I look at this card is the hummingbird, the size of it. They're tiny. They're these teeny little birds, but they flap their wings so fast. And they have the ability to stop dead in their tracks. And then basically they have the ability to go from 0 to 100 and from 100 to 0 and switch direction really, really, really fast and make adjustments really quickly. There's so much power in such a little being. And so how this ties into the reading, I see it meaning that there's a lot of power in all the little steps. Every little step you take has power, has purpose. And also to lighten your steps. Since we're talking so much about steps, whether it's steps up a mountain or steps on a path that takes you through a desert or a river, make your steps lighter, more joyful. Lighten up your steps as you go towards your big goal. This may be a specific message for some of you. I got the humpback whale. Music is essential to your healing and well-being, whether singing, playing an instrument, or listening. So this could very well be part of your passion project, your goal, or perhaps just the healing that you need to do at this time as you are still waiting in trust that you are even going to get there, that your arrow is going to hit its mark. Maybe take some time out to listen to music. I was going to say go to a concert, but that isn't happening right now. But there are wonderful concerts that you can see online or live streaming or videos that you can watch. Bring music into your life. Music is very soothing and healing. And last but not least, we have the Condor. You're too enmeshed in this situation, so step back and see the bigger picture. The what? The bigger picture before making any decision or taking action. Right, so again, we have, you know, sometimes you get so caught up in the little decisions, it's hard to make decisions and take action. So that's why you need to step back, see the bigger picture, remind yourself of where you're even going. I just had an interesting image in my mind. Have you ever used a GPS and tried to zoom in on a location to put a pin in it so that it knows where to tell you to go? And when you get too close to the location, I'm doing the motion here as if I had a GPS. If you get too close to the location, it becomes really difficult to know if you're even in the right place anymore. And then you have to zoom back out again to get the bigger picture of, oh yeah, that's where that river is and that's where that road is. Okay, then you zoom back in and you find the location. Zoom out, get your bearings, make sure you're still in the general vicinity of your greater path, your path of abundance, your dream, and then zoom back in, see what the next step to take is, and just do it and do it in a lighthearted way. Yeah, it's sort of the difference between the hummingbird and the condor. The hummingbird is the little bird that kind of gets right in there in the flowers and the nitty, you know, in the nitty-gritty details of the flowers, and then there's the condor who soars above everything. So basically become like the condor to get the greater picture, and then the hummingbird to do all the little nitty-gritty tasks, and just gracefully switch back and forth between these two roles as you work towards your final target, your passion project, your goal, and just trust that you will hit your target in the end. Best of luck to you as you continue on this wonderful, prosperous, beautiful, purposeful path. And just trust that you're going to get there. Don't let the mundane get you down. Love and light to you.